What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the biggest, most explosive moments in boxing. Today, we're talking about a match that has the entire boxing world buzzing: Gervonta Tank Davis versus Teofimo the Takeover Lopez. Yes, you heard that right. Two of the most dominant fighters in the sport today are about to step into the ring, and it's shaping up to be one of the most epic showdowns we've seen in years. Gervonta Tank Davis is stepping back into the ring after his incredible victory over Frank Martin. If you recall, there was a lot of hype around Frank Martin. Boxing legends like Errol Spence were building Martin up as the next big thing, but Tank Davis wasted no time in proving that he's still the top dog. That left hook Tank landed was pure dynamite. Down went Martin, and the fight was over before it even really began. But as dominant as Davis was in that fight, he's not about to walk into an easy victory this time. Why? Because he's going up against Teofimo Lopez. That's right, folks, the same Teofimo who shocked the world by beating Vasiliy Lomachenko. This fight between Tank and Teo is going to be a battle between two absolute beasts, both of whom are at the top of their game. You've got Gervonta Davis with his insane knockout power going head-to-head with Teofimo Lopez, who has lightning-fast reflexes and a devastating counterpunching style. But the action started long before either fighter even steps into the ring. Things got heated during their recent face-off on DAZN, and trust me, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. We're talking trash talk, mind games, and a level of intensity that had everyone glued to their screens. So before we get into what will happen when these two finally meet in the ring, let's break down everything that went down in their fiery face-off. Gervonta Davis, as always, was calm and collected. He didn't waste his time with too much trash talk. He just stared right through Teofimo, as if to say, "I'm going to let my fists do the talking." Teofimo, though, he was on another level, bringing all the heat. He went after Tank with everything, calling him out, questioning his abilities, and making it clear that he doesn't think Tank has fought anyone of his caliber. Teofimo has been talking about fighting Tank for a long time, and now he's finally got the chance to prove himself. He said it before, he believes this fight is bigger than any other fight in the lightweight division, even bigger than Tank versus Ryan Garcia. Teo's confidence is through the roof, and he's determined to outclass Tank Davis in every way. "I've been catered less than he has," Teofimo said. "Tank's been pampered his whole career, while I've had to fight tooth and nail for everything I've earned. But now, I'm going to show the world who the real king of this division is." Now let's rewind to when Teofimo first started calling out Tank Davis. It all goes back to when Tank avoided fighting Lomachenko, a move that earned him some criticism. While Tank steered clear of Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez stepped up and dominated Loma, cementing his status as one of the best lightweights in the world. During their face-off, Teo didn't hold back, reminding Tank of how he ducked Lomachenko while Teo took him down. "Tank didn't want any part of Loma," Teofimo said during the face-off, "but I stepped up and did what he wouldn't. And now I'm coming for him next." Davis, on the other hand, stayed cool throughout the trash talk. "Shut up. You talk too much," Tank told Teofimo, which was enough to set Teo off. Teofimo got out of his seat, looking ready to throw hands right then and there, but security quickly stepped in before things could get out of control. You could see the fire in Teofimo's eyes. This fight is personal for him. What's even more interesting is that this isn't the first time these two fighters have squared off in the ring. That's right, Tank Davis and Teofimo Lopez have sparred before, and according to insiders, Teofimo had the upper hand during that session. He was walking Davis down, forcing Tank to fight off the back foot and landing some heavy shots. That sparring session has only added more fuel to the fire and built up the anticipation for what will happen when they meet again. But there's another factor that could give Teofimo an edge. He's now training with Canelo Alvarez. Yes, you heard that right. Teofimo has teamed up with the Mexican superstar, and you know that's going to be a huge advantage. Canelo is not only one of the best boxers of this generation, but he's also an expert strategist. especially when it comes to picking apart aggressive fighters like Tank Davis. Having Canelo in his corner could give Teo the tools he needs to pull off the upset. Let's break down this fight a little more. When these two step into the ring, it's going to be a battle of styles. Gervonta Davis is known for his insane knockout power. The man is a comb machine with 30 fights, 30 wins, and 28 of those wins coming by knockout. That's an unreal knockout ratio. He's got a natural power that very few fighters possess, and he's proven time and time again that he can turn the lights out with a single punch. We saw it when he floored Ryan Garcia with that brutal body shot, and we've seen it in almost every fight he's had. Davis doesn't just rely on brute strength, though. He's got a killer instinct that's hard to teach. Once he's locked in on his target, he doesn't stop until his opponent is down. His ability to read his opponent's movements and time his punches perfectly makes him one of the most dangerous fighters in the world. On the other hand, Teofimo Lopez brings a completely different style to the table. The takeover has some of the fastest hands in the division, and his reflexes are second to none. What sets him apart from other fighters is his ability to counterpunch. He's a master at the catch and shoot technique, where he waits for his opponent to throw a punch, slips it, and fires back with a powerful shot of his own. Tank is not going to have an easy night against Teofimo, because Teo knows how to make his opponents pay for every mistake they make. Teofimo's biggest claim is that Tank has been pampered throughout his career, and he's not wrong. Tank Davis has been under the wing of Floyd Mayweather for years, and Mayweather has done everything in his power to make sure Tank gets the big money fights and the best opportunities. Meanwhile, Teofimo has had to fight for every scrap of respect he's earned, and he's used to being the underdog. But let's not forget, Teofimo has had some setbacks of his own. His loss to George Kambosos Jr. was a tough pill to swallow, and there were questions about whether Teo was still mentally sharp after that defeat. But one thing about Teofimo Lopez is that he thrives under pressure. He's a fighter who bounces back stronger after every setback. When the chips are down, he comes out swinging, and that's exactly what he's planning to do against Tank Davis. Let's not forget, this fight isn't just about these two fighters, it's about who will take over the lightweight division and solidify their legacy as one of the greatest of this era. For Tank Davis, a win over Teofimo Lopez would cement him as the most feared fighter in the division, especially after his dominant victory over Frank Martin. If he takes down Teofimo, it will be hard to argue that he's not a pound-for-pound great. For Teofimo Lopez, this fight is about redemption. A win over Tank would silence all the critics who questioned whether his victory over Lomachenko was a fluke. Teo wants to take back control of the lightweight division, and beating Tank would put him right back at the top of the mountain. One of the most interesting takes on this fight came from boxing analyst Keyshawn Davis, who pointed out that both Tank and Teo have very similar fighting styles. They're both power punchers with a lot of speed and explosiveness. But when two fighters with knockout power go head-to-head, it's usually a question of who can land the bigger shot first. Stylistically, they're the same fighter, Keyshawn said. The only difference is the size and how they use that power. But make no mistake, someone's getting knocked out in this fight.